Good evening, everybody. April 22nd, right now, 11:10 p.m. And this is a recap of today, how I traded Microsoft. Let's bring in my executions real quick. Right there. So nothing to brag about, nothing phenomenal, but overall a very, very easy and clean trade. As you can see, I made two trades today, two buys, two longs on Microsoft. As I talked about last night, it was on my main watch list here. First entry was at 955.05. I bought it, sold some at 10:02, sold some at 10:28, and then finally took everything off at 10:44. And then during power hour, I took a scalp trade and basically looking for just one small move, and I held that trade for over an hour, almost an hour here at 3:01, and closed it out at 3:58.45. Okay, so let's get right into it. Move the clock real quick. Microsoft. Here you see the daily chart right over here. Yesterday on my watch list, if you didn't watch it, then you missed out because it went perfectly according to the plan. I was looking for a second day momentum push on Microsoft. Now let's load in some drawings here real quick. Microsoft MSFT. Okay. So these drawings were made yesterday. I'm going to load it here as well. And these drawings were made yesterday. I was looking for a continuation push because of the stock making a 52-week high yesterday and the fact that it closed really well on its highs, right? So this gap down definitely had me a little bit by surprise, okay? I stayed very patient and waited for my plan. The plan was to see it reclaim. The anticipation was to anticipate it to bounce off the 122.80s here and then see it reclaim 123 and then push it up or take the buy and buy it all the way back up to the high of days from yesterday and looking and anticipating for breakout and beyond. Now, my final target was actually 125, but it actually never got there. Overall, if you're looking at the stock, the range is from 122.60 to 124 today. So that's $1.40. Yeah, $1.40. Now with the stock, the average true range of Microsoft is $1.50 on Vinviz. So the stock actually made its average true range today. Let's mark off the highs real quick right here and the lows, right? So the stock did make its range of almost $1.50 today. Now looking at my entry here real quick, like I said, this gap down kind of caught me off guard. I was anticipating a pullback at the open. I was anticipating to open flat and then pull back, but I didn't anticipate it to do it in the pre-market. So right at the open, we got major volume coming in, right? And we had a big dip at 9:30. And from here, oh, even pre-market. So right at the bell, this thing shot right back up. So we see a nice reversal of 1 minute candles here. And then from here, it held literally at this 122.80s area that I was talking about last night. I didn't take the trade here. I wanted it to wait and confirm this reversal, basically because of this massive pull down in the morning, right? I didn't know if this thing's gonna sell right back off. So I guess I could have took it, but I wanted to be on the safer side, so I waited for the 123 to break out first. So 123 did break out, okay? And after that, I waited some more. Like I said, my first entry was at 955. So let's open this chart up a little bit. Right there. So my entry was on this candle right here, 955. And I got it as high as 1028 at 123.80. So 1028 would be, sorry, just give me a sec. My broker just went on update right now. So scroll a couple more minutes. 1028 right here. Okay, I got out here and change the color real quick. So what happened? Well, like I said, according to the plan, I waited for the 123 to break out, and it did break out. And then it started holding. So I was waiting for it to pull back. This push was pretty parabolic, and I was waiting for it to pull back to around this area before I get in and play it against the 123. Unfortunately, it didn't. However, it did get above the 200 SMA here on the 1 minute chart, above VWAP, and above the 9 and the 50 as well. This here was the inflection point that I missed, which is fine. As I was waiting and watching this, you can see that the stock made a pretty tight range around here. Okay, like a, you know what? Let's use this instead. Stock made a pretty tight range around here, and I was watching this range while I'm waiting to get long. So from here at 9:38, I basically waited 20 minutes. It could have been a little bit too long of a wait. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to get in around here. I wanted to see the stock pull back. And when it did this bar right here, this is a massive pull, right? That kind of hesitated. I kind of hesitated on longing right away, and I wanted to wait for a little bit more confirmation. Now, as you can see, it started to make higher lows and higher lows from here. From here on this candle, this little doji, and then a green candle reversal, I kind of know that it was about to go, because it literally closed above this massive red candle's closing price, right? So that was kind of my stop out area right around here. This was my first stop out area, and then the main plan was the 123 as well, so a little bit under 123. And I was also anticipating the stock. This is the best entry that I wanted to get in, this line right here. So I wanted to get in around this area, okay, of its previous breakout, but it held. So basically when it came down, I just took it as close as this stop out area as possible, and having a plan to take off some. If this breaks, I would take off some around here, and then if this breaks, I would let it test this 123, and if that breaks, I would take it all off, right? So that's the plan. I got long here, and as the stock came up to the 123.50s, which is yesterday's highs, scrolling out again, yesterday's highs, this is definitely a target area. This is where I paid myself first. So bringing in back my executions. Always pay yourself. That was the first target, 123.52 here at 10:02. So right here on this massive bar, paid myself a little bit because it was a target. And then I held some for the bonus breakout and see if it can get above, right? So always pay yourself. Let's change the color of this candle real quick. Sorry, this arrow to orange. Okay, so that's kind of like a caution area for me to stop out some of my entry. So I in a couple of my previous videos, I talked about, I believe the title was how to stop out like a pro, right? I talked about how you manage your stops properly, not just stopping out right away. I'm following my plan at the 123, so I make sure I have 2 stops ready at least two levels of thinking here, and then paid myself here, and then finally wrote it up and paid myself right here as well. As you can see, let's scroll forward from where I paid myself. There's another reason where I paid myself right here, right? It's basically the top of its prior push, okay? So this is where I paid myself some. My final exits was actually, where did my executions go? Right here, sorry. Let's pull back up. Let's put it right here. So my final exit was 123.46 at 10:44. Now I didn't have to stop out. My entry was 123.30. I stopped out a little bit over. Now 10:44. Let's take a look at where that is. Right here. Okay. So I'm gonna mark that off right here. That's my final stop out. Okay, so basically, why did I get out here? Well, to me, this 50 area was very key. This 123.50, this red horizontal line you see, this was yesterday's highs, right? If it did break out, it did test and hold right here, right? And eventually, when it came down, held, and finally snapped it, that tells me that this trade is no longer working, because this trade was looking for the breakout of this red resistance line, and the breakout is now failed. So that's why I took it off right here at this candle. Now, in hindsight, obviously, I could have waited a little bit more into my entry price, but why? Because I could have just reset and take another trade. Now, looking at this, how could I have traded better, right? When this held right here, I could have added in, right? Let me think about it. Buyer's candle. I mean, we kind of made higher lows from here. I could have bought anywhere somewhere around here, bought some, or bought some around here, and then played against this 123.50, and then target this again, pay myself, and then come right back down, and then stop out here. Looking at this chart overall, zoom out real quick. Look at this chart overall. I mean, did I play it wrong? I don't think so. When I did stop out here at this 123.45 area, and this VWAP bounced, and then it did like a little horizontal range thing, I could have played it a little bit against the VWAP in yesterday's closing price as well, and got right back in. This could have been a nice trade. Ride it back up, first target right here again, and then once it held, I don't think I would have added in. I don't know, I might have. It broke out its prior highs and tested the 124 again. However, from here there was actually, it's the same thinking, right? So you see a sideways range, you see it holding a key level, and then you basically get in knowing, having a plan, and just play it according to the plan, right? Sideways range, very important. I played the same sideways range yesterday on Zoom as well. I mean, there's a sideways range right here. These are what I call in my prior videos money spots. Okay, so one of my very earlier videos, I am looking for money spots to get in to a trade. And here we have a little sideways range as well, right? So very, very nice trades set up on these money spots. Basically, I like them because it's a very condensed range where you have your stops nice and tight. It gives you a very nice and tight stop and risk management, and you can develop levels of thinking behind them, right? So this is the setup that I played today. It's going to be the setup I'm going to play tomorrow. I'm just back testing it over and over again. It worked today. It worked yesterday on Zoom as well. as I made on my trade recap. So let's take a look at the next trade that I made at the end of the day. So I bought here at 301. So taking a look at that right here. 301. This candle. Okay. So overall, I was still playing against this 123.50 area. Okay, this was the key area that I wanted to play against today. As you can see, this is my entry price. If I zoom out into the 5-minute chart, you can see how this area actually played very well. When it came down and under and got bought right back up, you know that it's still strong and it still wants to hold this level, right? Even on the tape and on the level 2, I see buyers coming in. And one thing I really want to talk about here real quick is basically, let me see, bring up my notes. Okay, so often stocks that eventually trend higher for the day will have some sort of a dropout, right? And the best way to judge whether the dropout is like a buying opportunity, it's to look at it and look at how long it stays under that key level. Okay, so obviously this was a key level. We had a dropout and it didn't stay long under there. It got bought right back up. So obviously, to me, this looks like a buying opportunity. That's why I longed it right here at 3 o'clock. And I was looking for a test of these highs again at 123.80, looking for a scalp, like a 30, 40-cent scalp, perhaps even a test of the high of days. So what happened was basically, where are my executions again? Here they are. Okay. So basically, I got long here at 123.60, playing it against the 50s area. Is this where I got in? 301. Yeah. Playing against the 50s area, and it basically tapped and hold it and ran into the close. Okay. And just right before the close, because I'm not much of a swing trader, and because this is the second day of the momentum, I have my doubts about swinging it into a third momentum day. So that's why I took it off. And obviously, unfortunately, it didn't work out the way it did, the way I planned it to be. I wanted it to squeeze out within this hour and test the highs, and that's where I would take it off, but it never got there. So I closed off the trade green a little bit by 15 cents, but it is what it is. Never stopped out. My stop out was actually right around this area right here. So pretty wide of a stop out, okay? Or I believe I used 123.37. I did yesterday's close. Okay, so pretty wide of a stop out, very small shares, late day. It's usually not my forte to trade late day, but I saw the opportunity, so I took it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recap, picked up a little something here. I personally like trading the open. Okay. Ooh, I like trading the open, but however, if you're a newer beginning trader and you are looking for more conservative setups and gains, this is the way to do it. Look for these money spots, right? First of all, the night prior, you need a plan. Second of all, when you see your plan start to work, from here, you could have got in here, but as a newer beginning trader, I would recommend taking this trade instead. And all you have to do is really sit and wait for half an hour, right? Not even. I waited how long? 25 minutes. Okay. And just follow the plan. I definitely like this setup. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed what you watched tonight, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Give me some comment in the feedback and let me know what you think about this trade setup. See if you will implement it into your own. How you thought my trading today was. Personally, I thought it was okay, but I definitely love and I'm open to listening to other comments and see what you guys say as well. So definitely write in the comments, and I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.